समस्तजन कल्याणी निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नमः। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरत चार्थेष्वभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदायादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो वृषा ध्याम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। So, Hari Om to everybody. We are going through Uddhava Gita, which is in the 11th skanda of Bhagavatam, and when Uddhavaji came to know Bhagavan was leaving the earth, he became very kind of nervous and sad. He said, "Please take me also." Bhagavan Krishna explained that he cannot, but he wanted him to stay back, learn the self-knowledge and live in this world. He had in his mind some representative of his to be left there, so that all of a sudden when Krishna leaves, it would be a big shock for a lot of people. And he knew about the curse of the Brahmins, that Dwaraka was going to be submerged in the ocean in 7 days. And therefore, Bhagavan Krishna asked Uddhava he said he would give his last instructions and asked him to go do tapas in Badariga ashrama and get moksha. So what Bhagavan Krishna is talking to Uddhavaji is Uddhava Gita. And the last 2 days we briefly went through Bhagavan's instructions to Uddhava so far, that world is all nashwaram, transitory and perishable. All that we experience is Maya Manomayam, Maya as well as play of the mind, because of which something appears to be something else, what it is not. So he said, give up attachment to all that is asatyam, illusory, and absorb your mind totally into me, into Bhagavan. He also said, your vision should be that you and Paramatma are not different. Understand, abide by that knowledge of self, live in the world happy. And when he said this, Uddhavaji said, oh Bhagavan, what you said has gone way above my head. Please explain it further to me, so that all of us who are who are living in this Laukika world are not there for us to understand what you said. Kindly explain so that ordinary people can understand. And Guruji in his commentary says, we all should understand, Uddhavaji was way above, he was very close to what Bhagavan Krishna himself was. And previously, he has even sent him to Vrindavan, if you remember, to teach gopis, etc., in order to, and for him to fully understand what's the difference between knowledge and devotion. And from there, Uddhavaji is understood to have been a very highly learned person in both devotion as well as knowledge. So Bhagavan Krishna knew it seems he was very close to whatever Bhagavan Krishna was. And when Uddhavaji said, therefore requested him to kindly explain further what Krishna was trying to convey to him, Bhagavan Krishna started with the story of Avadhuta, where Avadhuta was a very great sage of highly exalted position. It seems he was in that plane, he was living in this world in that plane of consciousness, which is the maximum that is achievable spiritually by a human being. And such a person is called Avadhuta, and he was the first non-Avadhuta called Dattatreya. We saw all that. We saw yesterday when Uddhavaji asked Avadhuta, not Uddhavaji, I'm sorry, Bhagavan Krishna told the story of Avadhuta in the context of King Yadu approaching him and asking him, "Oh Bhagavan, how come? Who is your Guru to give you this exalted knowledge where you live like an elephant who is in Ganga water when the whole forest is in fire? That you are not affected, you are totally above these worldly experiences, unlike all of us, where all of us are so busily going through the different difficulties and problems of life. You don't seem to have. Who is your Guru?" So Avadhuta said, I have many gurus, not just one Guru. He told that to Raja Yadu, and he explained, I have got 24 gurus, and yesterday we went through all the different gurus. Anything on earth, he was able to understand from them without any prejudice he learned. So, Guruji says, such people, they are just they're one with the nature, totally one with the nature, and so much that their ego is completely annihilated. Completely annihilated in extreme, highly exalted devotion combined with in the light of the knowledge. Such great sages with such kind of devotion where they see Bhagavan in themselves, they see Bhagavan in the world outside. Anything that they see, anything that they hear, anybody that they see that as expression of the Lord. There is no difference between them and the Lord himself, and there is no ego. Total annihilation. And he goes ahead and tells that, and therefore both devotion and knowledge are like two sides of a coin. They have to go hand in hand. Otherwise it is like a bird which tries to fly with one wing. And such people, Avadhuta was one such person. And it's also said, since rishis teachers. When we say freedom, when we say liberation, mukti, all these mean the same. It is not freedom to do whatever we think, to do what we want to, for the senses to be satisfied whatever they want to. It is freedom from them. Freedom from senses, freedom from doing things, freedom from talking things, etc. So, unlike in the normal parlance, when we say mukti, it is complete, total freedom of our antakarana itself. Gurudev would say, real freedom is not doing what you want to do, it is being able to do what you don't want to do. That's a very, very deep saying. So, that difference is big, that when we say freedom, it is freedom from our senses and body, mind and intellect. Okay? So now, we went through the all 24 teachers of Avadhuta. And this also we went through very briefly yesterday. The last teacher, Avadhuta tells to Yadu, king, his last teacher was his own body. He says, really our body is as if we are living in a jail. If we are to, remember we said, if we are to take photograph of the mind and intellect, it is like a man with 5 wives, each wife pulling in different directions. That is how a man is suffering with all these 5 senses. Unlike at least animals have got only one, maximum 1.5 senses controlling them, pushing them to distress. But we human beings have 5, and out of which tongue is the worst. So, the picture shows, each of the sensory organs pull us. So, how much alert, how vigilant we have to be, is what he is trying to tell us. And we will continue. Avadhuta continues with what he learned from our body, mind and intellect. I'll just chant this, don't have to repeat it. Srishtva purani vividhanya jayatma, again I missed it. Srishtva purani vividhanya ajayatma shaktya vrikshan saris prupasuna khagadanda shukana taistairadushta hridayah purusham vidhaya brahmavalogadhishanam mudamapadevaha. So Avadhutaji is continuing to talk about the body. He says, Srishtva Purani Vividhani. Brahmaji, when he created all varieties of living beings, varieties of beings, varieties of animals, varieties of plants and trees. He was not satisfied. He was tushta hridayaha, means totally dissatisfied. And he felt there was some imperfection somewhere. I could do something better. And so he created human beings, it seems, after a lot of experimentation. What is the difference between human beings and animals and or birds? The difference is the intellect by which we can discriminate. We can have viveka of what is right and what is wrong, which animals don't have. Of course plants don't have. They are just programmed to certain ways. Animals don't have. Gurudev somewhere he says, whatever spider built, whatever house it built, some million years before, he is building the same. He still hasn't thought about a veranda. So like that, it is the same. All animals are programmed to be in certain ways, so only human beings can think. And Avadhuta says, only human beings have the blessing given for realizing God. So that is where Brahmaji derived a lot of satisfaction by creating human beings who can realize, recognize God. Okay? Just forget about it. It is some amber alert. So, Brahmavalogadhishanam is capability to realize the Lord, to realize Brahman. And Avadhuta ji continues to say, but what's happening? We have this great intelligence. In fact, it seems it is said, we don't make use of even 5% of our intelligence that is given to us. And even that intelligence are used for, diverted into selfish needs and requirements. All of us know that. I love that field of interest, and people love certain fields of interest. They focus, they are able to do tremendous amount of work. And we also use our intellect for lot of destructive, selfish needs. All of us know that. And then one example was, Guruji's example was Ravana. Ravana, you know, he was a very highly devoted person. And he had all devatas, the wind god, water god, all these devatas under his control. Shani Bhagavan was under his control. Even all these devatas were under his control. To that extent, we have the capacity. But that capability was given to us so that we reach that exalted position. We should make use of that. And other ways that people make use of these capacities are, all of us know, so-called certain spiritual people, they use it for getting siddhis, and that way they get fame, recognition, and all that they want. So he warns against all those and says, make use of the faculty the Lord has given to reach the ultimate self. And he also says that, Avadhuta says that our life is like carrying pot of water with a hole in it, without realizing it. We keep carrying it. No, not a pot, I'm sorry. Our life is like traveling in a boat with a hole in it. We are not realizing how water is slowly seeping in when we would be submerged. So before that end comes, wake up, don't waste any time. Learn from the scriptures, learn from Mahatmas. And like Gurudev says, all of us live as though we are never going to die. And we die as if we never lived. How true it is. And another commentator was saying, many people, they get educated, they go to very high positions and get their children married, and by the time they retire, they got grandchildren, and they spend the rest of the time taking the children to school, bringing them back, feeding them, etc., etc. And all of a sudden, one fine day, they are gone. Let us not be there. That's what Avadhutaji is telling. Then, next slogan, he continues. Labdva sudarlabhamidam bahu sambhavante manushyamarthadamanityamapiha dhiraha nishreyasaya vishayaha turnam yate tanapate danu mrityu yavana nishreyasaya vishayaha khalu sarvatak syat. What happened?
The slide needs to change.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'll chant it once again. Labdva sudarlabhamidam bahu sambhavante manushyamarthadamanityamapiha dhiraha turnam yate tanapate danu mrityu yavana nishreyasaya vishayaha Khalu sarvata syat. Nishreyasaya. It has got a couple of meanings. It actually means Atyantika Dukkha Nivarti. The goal of our life is Atyantika Dukkha Nivarti, removal of sorrows. All of us are working towards that. Anything, early morning when we get up, whatever we do is really with the hope, with the thinking that I have to do that, otherwise. I have to do this, else. Oh, I have to tell this joke. Okay? It has nothing to do with this. One guy, he came on H1 visa. He was getting married. And he was a kind of nervous, And regular marriage, he had to go to India. He would see some 10 or 15 brides. He would select one, get married. And he was very nervous, Particularly he is hearing people here, how can you get married without even knowing the person? We are just going to see the person. He was very nervous. So he tells his friend, hey, what can I do? I have to go and marry. I am really very nervous. So his friend said, hey, don't worry. You get married. We are all behind you, okay? And when she comes, from the first day onwards, you tell what you want. Tell her, for example, if you want for breakfast, you want idli and sambar. You say, hey, I want idli and sambar today for breakfast. If not, say like that. So he goes, gets married, brings the bride home. From the first day onwards, I want this. If not, okay, I will do. For everything he used, and she will get so scared. And he will do poor thing everything. And after some 1.5 years, she gets liberation. She gets to go to India, visit her parents. And her parents were very upset seeing her. And said, what is this? Why are you like this? Aren't you eating properly? So, no, I have a lot of work. I have to do this, I have to do that. My husband is like this. He will tell me something and then say, if not, and I get so scared. So I do whatever he wants. Then her father said, hey, Buddhu, I'll tell you what you do. Be courageous. From hereafter you are not doing that. Okay? And told her what to do. She came back. Very courageously, she decided. She came home. He went and picked her up. He was missing her a lot. Everything he had to do at home. As usual, he said, you came. And so many things had to be done. First of all, I'm going to take bath now. You make dosa and chutney for me. Okay? If not, she looked at him. If not, he got so scared. It's okay. I'll eat bread. Like that. So, I told you already it has no connection. You could have stopped me. So we are in Labdhva. Nishreyasaya Atyantiga Dukkha Nivarti. Anything that we do is to get rid of what? To avoid, not to get rid of also, to avoid any sorrow that is coming. And I hope that I will be becoming happier. That is our goal. That is, of regular people, that is our goal. Then he says, this life, this human life being, you have got it with lot of difficulty. After thousands of some other lives as animals and birds and whatever, make use of it. Remember, every day remind yourself, every day in the morning, what your goal is. Our goal, don't forget, is Atma Sakshatkara. Atma Sakshatkara means what? Being able to abide by our true nature is, nice word is Atma Sakshatkara. Seeing Atma everywhere, like how you see a fruit in the middle of your hand. Remember, that is your goal. And therefore, whatever you think, whatever you do, just think whether you are in that direction. Make all anatmic activity and thought, redirect them to atmic thought and activity, which is possible. And he says, Nishreyasaya also means, I told you it has got two meanings. The other one is anything which is Shreyas. We have already learned what is Shreyas. Shreyas is what is absolutely good for you. What is absolutely good is what is good for ever. Anything what is not good forever definitely will have something bad in it, some side of it. So what is absolutely good for you, what would take you to Paramatma? What would make you sattvic? What is good for you, not only for you, for the people around, for the community around. That is what is Shreyas. So remember these two things. One, what is your goal? And whatever you do is in the category of Shreyas. And then he assures, you make sure your life is dharmic. What is dharmic? Dharmic is doing your duty to the best of your capability, and whatever you do, make sure it is good for not only you, for the people around and the community around. That is what is dharmic. So let your life be dharmic. That means don't do anything selfish oriented. May it be, choose your actions in such a way it is good for you as well as for people around and for the nature around. And he says, all that you get, all vishayas, remember, vishayas that the Lord gives you, that you are born with, the surroundings that you are born in, whether you are rich, very rich, or be born in a beautiful place like Atlanta where the weather is very good, or you are wherever you are, it is not by accident. You are in that station of time and space for a reason, and that you born as a human being at that time, in that position, in that location, is what is most conducive for you to exhaust your vasanas. Isn't that so reassuring? Wherever you are, whatever you are. Nothing wrong with vishayas. Nothing wrong with vishayas means objects in the world. Nothing wrong with enjoying the comforts that you have, enjoying whatever objects you have, but lead a dharmic life. If you, it seems, reject what you have also, it's not good. Accept with surrender to God, and when you have a dharmic life, you will automatically share it with surroundings. And you will be a blessing for those who are in need. Okay? And then, like that, understand in that logic that the whole world is for you to make use of, to learn from, to exhaust your vasanas. That means you might have so much of urge, you might be rajasic to help others. Gurudev, how much he used to go around for helping others, isn't it? It's a great example. And he says, and use this word, use this prapancham to escape from this prapancham, to escape from coming back to this prapancham. Okay? And he continues. I am not chanting all these slokas because, it doesn't make much sense. Here and there I am giving some slokas so that you don't think I am bluffing. Okay. You can go back and see. And he continues to say that there are so many Mahatmas. Don't miss opportunities to learn from them. Mahatmas are like lamps, lighted lamps. If you are ready, if you want to, if you have sufficient vairagya in you, if you are sattvic enough, teachers will come to you. But we should be ready to receive. He says, Mahatmas are like lamps. You be ready with oil and wick in your lamp. Get your lamp lighted. What a nice way of telling, huh? Get your lamp lighted. So beautifully he says, actually I am reminded of this. Many of you may know Swamini Amma Sharada Priyananda. Since she used to come to Annaba Center, we were very new that time, the last time that she came. And just before she came, Sharadandi told in Balavihar classes, we were just entering the Balavihar that time. Through our child only we got to know Balavihar and then became active and all that. I still remember her saying, any opportunity you get, when Mahatmas come, don't miss it. You never know when it will stop. And that somehow did a big mark in me. And she came that week. After that she never came back. From there she went to Florida. In Florida she was diagnosed with cancer. From there she could not even complete the yagna there. She went to Madras, where she left her body. So whenever we get an opportunity, and we know about Avadhuta, how? Because his mind was so pure, because there was such a great devotion and knowledge, how he learned from whatever he really saw. He is an example, whoever is talking, preaching on it, isn't it? So he says, so do as much Shravanam, as much Mananam and Nidhyasana. Go above all these gunas, which we'll be talking about very soon, and realize, live happily and don't come back. And somewhere Swami Vivekananda, when he was talking, he has said, along the same line when he was talking, he said, yes, you should enjoy this world, live in this world, give as much as possible, work hard, do your best. All this we have to do. The whole world is for us to exhaust our vasanas. Then he commented, probably people like Adi Shankaracharya must have been a great wise king in his previous life, who has developed so much of vairagya. When he took this birth, he knew nothing was really substantial. So, continuing, he says, the greatest blessing in this life, the greatest happiness that you get is, first of all, develop sufficient vairagya. I don't know how many of you know the real meaning of vairagya. Vairagya means dispassion. Dispassion means not suppression. No, I will not have it. I shall not take sweet anymore. From hereafter I am not going to do whatever that we think is not good for us. Not suppression. Vairagya is understanding through proper logic and analysis the pithlessness of the world of objects. When I say pithlessness, we also have to understand the actual value of the world of objects. And what is that value? We have to understand in our relative world, in the transactional world, we have to give sufficient proper value to those things. At the same time, know what is our goal. Towards our goal, are these things going to help us? What I am going to do, what I am thinking, or the way I am interacting, is that helping me? Whatever I do, is it towards my goal? Whatever I do. Sometimes things happen to us. Unfortunate things happen to us. Right? How do we take it? But we have to understand that behind everything there is a reason. Nothing is random. Everything has come through law of karmas. Everything has come. It's extremely difficult. None of us can really put 1 plus 1 is equal to 2, so that happened this way, this happened this way because of this. Law of karma is, we cannot, it is anivachaniyam. It is not explicable for us. No, by nobody. Therefore, we have to have that faith, surrender to the Lord, and develop vairagyam to world of objects, to life. That everything is temporary, everything is ephemeral, and what is satyam is only what is supporting the whole, this changing world, which is a substratum, which is nothing other than that consciousness which is in and through all of us. That awareness, with that awareness, and also that only by realizing, only by me able to identify myself with that unchanging, eternal self, which is nothing other than bliss and complete joy itself. I have to be able to identify. That is vairagya. Developing that determination is vairagya. So, in that vairagya, when we develop that kind of vairagya, mind will not go extrovert. It will naturally go inward. Mind goes inward, and a heart which has developed devotion to lot of bhakti practices, pray for more devotion, understand by logic from Shastras, from Gurus, from teachers, the divine knowledge. That is that awareness of the self with Vairagyam. He says that is existence living in that awareness with that devotion, exalted devotion, is the greatest blessing one can have in human life. When we say that devotion, it is not the devotion that we people have. We go to temple, we pray, we do namaskaram, put flowers, do puja. Devotion of such exalted people is where there is no, it seems the devotee and the devoted are, there is no difference. There is no difference between such a devotee and Paramatma himself. Okay? I have to hurry up. Okay. So for such people, there is no attachment, there is no ego, there is no kama, krodha, lobha, mada, moda, matsarya, none of them. They are param jnanis. So, our Dattatreya, Avadhuta Swamigal, he said like this: Evam sanjata vairagya vijnana loka atmani vicharami mahimetam bhakta sango nahankrita. Evam, like this, sanjata vairagya, having understood and gained vairagya, with proper understanding of vijnanam in my mind. Here Atma stands for mind. Vijnana loga atmani, people in their mind, in their Atma, having understood. Now we are talking about, Bhagavan Krishna is talking about Avadhuta. Okay? Having got the knowledge, Mukta Sangaha, totally liberated without any attachment. Na Anahankritaha, without any ego. He happily, he roams around. I think I made a mistake. I think it was Avadhuta himself who is saying this. Okay? Not Bhagavan Krishna. He is telling to Yaduraja that I don't have these things. And because I don't have ego, which is completely annihilated, I am able to roam around freely in this world. Nothing binds me. Okay. So, who was listening to all this till now? Yadu Raja. So he had been hearing, and he did respectfully, thankfully did namaskaram to Dattatreya, and he blessed him, and he just walked away as usual, freely roamed around. And Yadu Maharaja, he from then on, he understood the teaching, he got total vairagya, got developed detachment. And he also became a great yogi and a liberated person. See how he looks? So animals around. Sarva Sangha Vinir Muktaha. He, from all attachments, he got himself freed, and he is now a great, happy king, surrounded by all animals, birds, etc. Like a great sage. King Yadu, completely free from all attachments and established in equanimity. Now, so all these things were being narrated by Bhagavan Krishna to Uddhava, right? He understood, and remember, the question that Uddhavaji had asked Bhagavan Krishna was, you are saying that I should renounce everything and spend my rest of life in absorbing his mind into Bhagavan. Correct? How can I do it when we are all worldly people immersed in worldly enjoyments? Then he told this story. Now Bhagavan Krishna is continuing. Shallowness of earthly and other enjoyments. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Mayoditesha Vahitaha Swadharmeshu Madasrayaha Varnasramakulacharam Akamatma Samacharet Anviksheta Vishuddhatma Dehinam Vishayatmanam Guneshu Tattvadhanena Sarvarambha Viparyayam. He is saying, actually, how to get vairagya. He's actually kind of stopped there talking about vairagya. By talking about the shallowness of earthly enjoyments, Bhagavan Krishna is coming to say how to get vairagya. He says, Mayoditesha, like how I have been telling you, because we are almost towards the end of Bhagavatam, right? Our Uddhavaji had been learning so many things from Bhagavan, like how I have taught you before. And Vidaha, carefully what you do, Swadharmeshu Madasrayaha, do your own dharma. Do your dharma. Madasraya, depending upon me. That means with devotion to me, you do your dharma. To me, when he says, that means to Bhagavan. Devoted to me, dependent completely, trusting me, do your dharma. What dharma? Kulasrama, kula achara, karma. In whatever, when he says, all these are for all of us, right? Kulasrama, depending upon which kula, which kind of race you belong to, which kind of ashrama you belong to, whichever ashrama you are. We may be in brahmacharya ashrama or whatever ashrama, householder or sannyasa or varnashrama, whatever. Whichever varnashrama you are, in whatever station of life, you do your dharma to your best of knowledge. How? Akatma means without any selfish desires. Whatever you do, even when you are taking care of your children, even when you are cleaning the house, don't do it because, oh, I am doing it, I have to do it. Don't have that kartritra bhava. Whatever you do, surrender to the Lord. Just tell yourself, I am doing for the Lord. Okay? Tell His name and keep doing the work. Whatever you do, have Him in the mind. Even if it is mechanical, keep telling His name. Keep chanting His name when you do your work. Whatever time of the day, it doesn't matter. Samacharet. May your lifestyle be like that. Then, Anviksheda Vishuddhatma Dehina, Vishuddhatma Dehina, Vishayatmana. Observe the doshas, or what's right? Observe the imperfections or the problems and issues. Doshas means the wrong results, whatever undesirable results come through. You just observe the undesirable results that comes from actions of people who are Vishaya oriented, who are materialistic people. Learn from that and understand the not only pitilessness of certain actions, desires, also the undesirable results and consequent results after that, how it affects people, not only the doer, also the people around. Be aware of all this and develop the dispassion. When you are conscious and aware of it, naturally, automatically your mind will become pure and you will automatically a dispassion will get developed within you. That is how you develop dispassion. Okay? I'll go to the further explanations that was given. I already mentioned about do everything as worship to the Lord. Then recognize the doshas of the worldly transactions. Okay, in that context, Guruji was saying in his talks about the story of Indra, where we get so used to the life. We know certain things bring problems to us. We still do. We know, we talk a lot, we read, we seem to be understanding, but without our own knowledge, we create that split personality in us. We know what is right, but still we do wrong. And we keep doing once, we keep doing it second time, third time, then that becomes the norm of life. Not only that becomes the norm of life, we actually pass it on to our next generation also. Isn't that true? So he was giving an example. It seems he was just watching one very old lady. Her grandchildren were coming and doing namaskaram to that lady. And that lady said, "May you study very well. You come up very well in your life. Make lot of, you study very well. May you get job in America and make money and, live very happily." And Guruji is saying, and I for one know, her own children, he has 2 sons, both of them are in America, they don't take care of her at all. She was just then crying to me saying, she's all alone, nobody takes care of her. So she already knows what the pitilessness, whatever, is. But what is she doing? By force of habit, we all go with the crowd. We don't think what I'm doing is really right. He gave an example of Devendra, Indra. It seems, for some reason, as some kind of a little bit of curse, he was born on earth as a pig. He-pig. And then he had a she-pig. And both of them had lot of piglets. And he was supposed to come back after a very short time. But he got so happy. Nice, he loved his cute pig and piglets. He loved that muddy, dirty area, all those things. He completely forgot why he had come. He was supposed to go back. And all the devas in the heavens, they started getting worried. They waited. And then our own great uncle, with his veena, he came, Narada. He came and reminded and said, "You're supposed to come there." I'm very happy here, okay? Look at my cute wife, look at my cute children. He refused to go. Then he went back. Then others thought, what is this? How come he doesn't get it? Then one of them came, they kind of talked to him and said, this is wrong, you have to come there. Without her, this is happening, that is happening. He got so angry, he actually killed the she-pig. And Indra got only very angry. Then another person came, another Deva came, he killed all the piglets also. And finally, the pig himself got killed, and that is when Indra woke up and realized what for he had come first of all. It seems all of us are like that. Okay, we get used to our dirty life. We get used to the problems that we are facing. We get used to the mind-intellect conflicts that every day we are going through. We don't have to go through. We can be as happy as the child we saw yesterday, like that. So he says, you don't have to suffer. So he says, forget about, do your duty, do your kula dharma, varnashrama kula acharas, without selfish motives and with surrender to God. That means without any doership, enjoyership feeling. I did this, so I enjoy, I should be getting it because I am doing it. I should get the recognition. I should be paid this much. Of course, whatever is logic, you can't be a broom, a doormat. Do the way it has to be. Lead a righteous life, but don't get too much attached to anything. Don't push yourself for getting more. Whatever you get with dharmic life, enjoy that. Now, having said that, once you have got that vairagya, once you have reached a state where you can abide, where you can understand the highest knowledge, that means the Vedantic knowledge, what is your next sadhana? What should you do? Is the next thing what Bhagavan is going to tell Uddhavaji. Next slide. What should we do? Okay, I should have hidden that. What should we do? No, don't look at that now. I don't have anything to hide. Okay. Once you have reached a state where Atma Jnanam is highest priority. I was invited for a party, a nice birthday party of my best friend's daughter, or there is a nice movie running. Today is the first day release. So nice to see the first day of the release. Or even if some guests are coming to your house, what do? If you have the priority of getting the knowledge, if there is an opportunity, you will make space and time. Of course, there are situations you cannot. So make that a priority. One should take up only nivritti karma. That means, please don't look at the screen. Take up, do whatever helps you to go inward, and reject whatever takes you extrovert. Whatever pulls you extrovert is Maya. Whatever takes you inward is knowledge, is devotion. Remember that, he says. And mat parastyajet. May all your action be dedicated to me, the Lord. We have gone through that. And Jnasayam, develop more and more interest in knowing. How would you do that? In more of Shravanam, more of Mananam. Mananam is reflection. Going to study groups and also meditation. And Guruji always would say, you should have a 20-20-20 program where every day you do worship, puja or upasana for 20 minutes. Okay? Read for 20 minutes. Do meditation for 20 minutes. If you cannot do, may it be 10-10-10. And he said, no, I am very busy. 5-5. Okay. It's Guruji's words. With so much of compassion, he would say that. And do not increase selfish, desired actions or any action which would take you away from self-reflection. Any action which is anatmic. And we are all living, we all compare, we say to each other, what to do, my mother-in-law, ding, 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 my own relatives, sister-in-law, brother-in-law, ding, 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 problems. My neighbors, that problem, that issue. What can I do? What will they think? That is one. Second thing, without thinking, as we become more and more extrovert, what happens? We tend to follow the crowd. Isn't it? Oh, all other people are doing, let us also go. I am afraid I am going to lose something. Like as teenagers, I don't know, you may not be, but I always felt those movies which I could not see, that I was really missing out something in life. Things like that. And so these pictures are, be careful when you blindly follow the masses. Sometimes M is silent, just being very polite. Okay. It is about a group of treasure hunters. A huge group of treasure hunters went hunting for treasure. The first man, as he was going, he fell into a big ditch. The second man thought, see, treasure hunter, they are all so rajasic, greedy, want to get as much as possible. Sometimes they don't even mind taking any kind of risk. The first man fell into the ditch. What did the second man think? He must have seen something, there must be something. Third man also fought. And then one man, he thinks, what are they doing? May not be a good idea. A man who even thinks like that and talks about it, he'll be considered as an outcast. That is how our world is. We have to remember that. It doesn't matter what others say. Follow the scriptures, follow the Guru, and make sure there is no mind-intellect conflict. Mind and intellect should be integrated. They should go together, parallel. Then, Maya Marketing Company. That company is often referred to by Swami Bodhatmananda. Got it from him. He would say, Maya Marketing Company out there. They are marketing lot of things. Don't go to that mall. Go to the other mall. Don't go to any Maya market. Don't get tempted by all those advertisements and attractive words and 10 ideas that made to make $100 million. All those things. So, just to be on the lighter side. And then he says, one thing, this Guruji's, again he quoted in his talk, so I thought I'll bring it here also, which most of you are very, very familiar with, is whatever actions you do, per se. Here he is really referring to a person who has gotten sufficient vairagyam, who has understood the impermanence of all fruits of action, the impermanence of this life, and is a jnasa whose priority is to reach the Lord. Such people understand that no karmas would take you there. All of you are very familiar with that. Huh? That is by whom? Ramana Maharshi, who Karturajnaya prapyate phalam karma kim param karma tajyatam. Karma is only really inert thing. What has to transform what has to transform is our andakarma, isn't it? So in that context, Bhagavan also says, na dehinam sukham. Oh, I got that. I should not have done that. Na dehinam sukham kinchit vidyate vidushamapi tathaja dukkha mudhanam vridhahankaranam param. So, whatever, even Vidushas are those who are highly knowledgeable, even they sometimes get trapped. And he is warning us against all those traps that we may find in life that follows. So that was easily described by Ramana Maharshi, saying that all actions lead only to anatmic results. Okay? And there are lot of so-called achievers of the world, people in high, medium, low levels also. They take up lot of activities saying, things like social service. All those things are very good. Okay? They are all for making us less selfish. But ultimately, what takes us to our goal is what we have to keep in mind. Okay? Anything beyond that, I say it will look like marketing for our ashram. So I won't say. So now, Bhagavan, Krishna is asking us to be aware of the dangers of non-sattvic life. Jiva, the problem of our laukika life identifies with body, mind, and with gunas of Prakriti. We are identifying, our body and mind identifies with gunas of Prakriti, which I will be going through in detail later in Hamsa Gita. Enjoys and suffers results of action, and because of that what happens? Sense of plurality we talked about, and I-ness and minus feeling, the egoistic feeling gets developed. And when there is I-ness and minus feeling is when the doership and enjoyership gets developed. Experience of plurality further increases, and so long as there is sense of plurality, Jiva will experience bondage. The more selfish desires are entertained, the more will be the bondage. All these things is what we saw. And this is favorite of Sharda auntie. She says, all of us, instead of chanting Om, or Om Namah Shivaya or Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, whenever we are not doing anything, whenever we are not doing puja or something, or not sleeping, in our mind the Shruti is, I want, I want, I want, I want, I want, I want. That music is going on. So let us be aware against all those things. And I have 10 minutes more. So Uddhava listened to all these things and asked, oh Bhagavan, you said all this talked about what is it? Avadhuta Rishi, and he said, we really, and before that also he had said, and other rishis are also saying, like that. And I have heard others also saying that we are as such free. And I don't feel free. Living in this world of objects, all of us don't feel free. We are suffering because of the bondage. How come it is so? Tell me. Then Krishna said, bondage is not in me. Bondage is only with Prakriti. Uddhava said, Bhagavan, I know you are not bound. I'm talking about people like us. How come we are bound? Actually, he didn't say like that. I was just saying. Bhagavan said that bondage belongs to the mind and intellect. Okay? So, did I chant this? No. So, Uddhava said, Guneshu Vattamanopi Dehadeshvanamavritaha Gunairna Badhyade Dehi Badhyade Va Kadham Vibho Kadham Vatteda Viharaihi Kaitvajaye No Kadham Vatteda Viharai Kaivajayeta Lakshanaihi Kim Bhunjitota Visrujechayita Sita Yativa Etadachyudame Bruhi Prasnam Prasnavidamvara Nitya Baddho Nitya Mukta Eka Eveti Me Brahmaha. I find myself Nitya Baddha. And we are told we are all Nitya Mukta. How is it so? How do these people who are liberated, how come they are able to be what they are? How did they get liberated? How do they walk? Just like that question Arjuna asked Bhagavan Krishna. Same type of question he asked. How does a liberated person walk? How does he think? I would like to know. Then Bhagavan said, Hey Uddhava, this talk Bhagavan Uvacha Baddho Mukta Iti Vyaghya Gunatamena Vastutaha. Baddha, that means bondage, Mukta, liberation. All these Vyaghya, talk about all these, are not for the Vastu. That means that is not for the self. That is for the gunas. Here means the gunas of the world. The gunas means, here really it means Rajaguna, Sattoguna, Rajoguna, Tapoguna. It belongs to the qualities, those gunas of Prakriti. And gunas of Prakriti has nothing to do with me, nothing to do with the self. That is the work of Prakriti or Maya. And I am untouched by Maya. So are you. Okay? And so, going ahead, to explain that, Bhagavan said, I'll tell you a story. Story of two birds. One bird is sitting on top of the tree, ever joyful, brilliant, illuminating, self-content, totally satisfied. And the other bird, who was, these two birds were friends from eternity and continues so. And this bird is totally happy, free, contented. The other bird found the fruits on the tree, ate the first fruit, aha, very sweet. After eating that, he wanted one more fruit. He ate that. He kept enjoying the fruits of the tree. Whenever he came across a bitter or a sour fruit, that time he looked up to his friend. Then again got reminded of the sweet fruit below. He says, that is the difference between the ordinary Jiva and Ishvara. The Ishvara, who is the creator, who is enabling, or who is in us, who is the all-pervading Ishvara. That is the Ishvara. And the Jiva is Jiva is the individual who goes through enjoyments of her or his fruits of action and suffers in the world. That is the difference between an ordinary Jiva who is amidst the enjoyments of the world and the true self. Okay? And then, once you realize that your goal should be to reach that exalted state of that first bird, the Jiva's your goal should be to reach there. And then, once in that knowledge you would know what I am talking about. He gives one more example, very interesting. When Sri Rama asked Hanumanji about Hanumanji's relationship to Sri Rama, he said, Deha buddhyasmi dasoham, Deha buddhyasmi dasoham. When I am identified with my body, I am your dasa. Dasa means I am your sevak, I am your servant. Jiva buddhya tadamshaha. When I identify myself with my Jiva, I am part of you. You are somewhere and I am part of you. Vishishtadvaita. I am part of you. And Atma buddhya tvameva aham. Idi me nischit matihi. My firm understanding, my firm understanding is when I am identified with my Antaryami, my Atman, I am one with you. You got it? When I am identified with my body, I am your servant. When I am identified with my Jiva, which has got mind, intellect, all this, ego. When I am identified, when I am thinking, considering myself for that, I know that I am part of you. But when I am identified with my Atma, I am one with you. Okay? And that is what we should be killing. No. There was one more slide I missed. Okay, that's okay. So now I'll quickly conclude. Okay. So what do we do? What should we do? Krishna said, what you consider as Atma, as your Jiva, as your Atma, not Jiva with mind, intellect, etc. As your Atma, you know that there is one substratum in us, like a screen in a movie, over which the projection we are seeing. Without that substratum, we cannot see the moving and unmoving substratum has to be there. Like that substratum is me. And understand that and consider that Atma in you, which is enabling you as Bhagavan. Consider that as Bhagavan with clean body and mind. Worship me every day. Do all your actions with surrender to me. Do your duties. Your own Antaryami, that is me, will bless you. And in transaction, accept your bondage. Accept your bondages and practice bhakti. Practice bhakti. Develop your bhakti. And slowly, the bondage will become weaker and weaker. And you will realize, you will see me in you. Then Guruji says, accept your bondage. Don't go about saying, oh, I am beyond all these things. I am not affected. You will be converting your own self into an asura. So accept, understand that, and then the Lord will bless you from inside. The promise given to us is, we will experience our own Jiva like a river which flows to that infinite ocean, and which when it touches, that merges with that ocean, every time it merges with that ocean, that is that joy of, he calls it as I don't get his word, he used a beautiful word, when you get glimpses of that extreme ecstasy of your Jivahood meeting with that Paramatma. You will get it, and from there, slowly, that Paramatma, Jivatma also, you will be able to go beyond Jiva and abide by that self and enjoy that, just like Avadhuta, enjoy that overflowing joy, and you will roam around in this world happily like a child. He concludes this particular portion that way. Okay, and I'll stop here for today. And next week tomorrow I'll be starting a new topic, which is another major topic of our I always get Uddhava Gita. That is Hamsa Gita. So Hamsa Gita comes inside Uddhava Gita. I am hoping to cover it, do some justice to Hamsa Gita in the 2 classes. Okay. So we'll stop here, and after this we'll do Aarti. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om. Thank you very, very much for patient listening.